Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in the previous video I talk about how to set up a project. Basically I publish this project on the GitHub. You can download this and set up, and I also show you the process how you can set up and some of the dependencies required. So how to use that dependency to make this application work. So I believe that you have already set up. So let's move to the another episode. So in this particular video I am going to talk about the front end part, which is created in the React. So in the React, basically what you need to do, because in this particular video the project is already created, and just I am going to explain the code, whatever code is written. So it will be better for you because it will not take much time, because since if you will try to write each and every lines of code, then it will be time consuming and also boring for you. That's why I just created and I am going to explain the code, how this code is working, so that you guys can understand all these things very well. So if you will review the code, if you download the code and try to review, then you can understand. And if you face any problem, you can watch this video, and here you will find the explanation of the code. And still if you will face any problem, then you just comment. I will try to make a video on that particular comment also. So let's begin. So here the first and foremost, that once you will do npm start, when you will in the particular folder, which is in this case which is the my app folder, and here if you will run npm start, then your project will be started on a particular port, and you can run this in your browser, and you will find this type of interface where basically CRUD related functionality are available. It means insert, update, delete, and basically this type of functionality where we can add a product, or we can see the list of the product, and you can also delete or edit. So let's try to understand the code. So first and foremost, most important thing is that the entry point of the React application is the index.js. Okay, so in this index.js, this is the entry point of your application. So whatever you will write here, that will be very important. So here you will observe, you will find that some of the code I written here. Basically no required this code, because if you will try to expand this application or scale this application, if you will try to attach the authentication, in this case this code is might useful. That's why I you will find some of the code up here, because sometimes it's useful. You can take a use from this code, and some of the code are commented to make this application work. Otherwise this will show some error. That's why I just commented some of the code. And if required, if you try to attach authentication, then in that case you can take help from this code. So the main important part is here, that app is imported here. Once you will import something, you also need to export it. Where you will export? So once you will go to the app.js, you will find that this file is exporting something which is app, and in app basically some of the functionality are written here. And if you export, then you also need to import whenever it's required, whenever you want to use this. So here it is imported in the index.js. So here you can see that app is imported, and now we can use this app. So basically we are using here. So this is the method which is the render, and in this render we are using React DOM. Basically this React DOM is also imported from the React library. It's inbuilt or inbuilt library which is the React DOM. So you can import this from the React DOM. Once you will import, then you can use their render method. What this render method is doing, let's see. So here you need to provide the app, that is the functionality, and this will return some UI element or DOM element basically, and this is decided by depend upon your logic. So this will return, and you are going to render that returned element or DOM element in where the ID is root. So you can see here that document.getElement by ID, and here it is a root. If you will go to the index.html, if you will find the index.html, where you will find the root is the ID, and that will be replaced with your code, basically with your React app. So let's try to find out this index.html. So as you guys can see that here it is the public. In the public folder you will find the index.html, and here you can see that some of the code is written here, and where you will also find that this is the root. One division are there, one div element are there, and where the ID is root, and this particular div is going to replace with your code which is returned by your app of app.js. So you can see here that will be returned, and you will also observe here that this is the provider basically, and this is the additional part here in this case, because there are no authentication, that's why this is not required. If you also comment it, then also if you comment this particular provider here, then also your application will run successfully. So it's depend upon your choice, means when you will try to expand this or scale this application with authentication, then in that case this is very useful, and you can take help from this code. That's why I just kept it as it is. Okay, so now let's move to the app.js and try to understand some of the part here. So as you can see here that some of the things are imported on the top of this file, which is the import React, and some of the important thing which is also useful. And here you will find that here this is basically a method which is app that is returning a router, and this router is here imported from the React route DOM. So you can see here that once you will import, then you can use basically this thing. How you can use this routing, this part you can find from the documentation. There the clear explanation are available on the documentation, so I believe that you also check it out so that you can understand these things very well. So for now you can see here, because when I try to explain all these things again and again, then it will be very time consuming. That's why just I am going to leave this. You can also, I also created a video on that particular section, you can also check it out. This will be available in my YouTube channel. And here you can see that in the router the layout component are available. This component, layout component, is available in the, basically this is imported, and from the component folder you will find a file which is a layout, and that will so let's talk about layout, how this is work. So if you go to the component folder, you will find a file which is the layout.jsx. So you can notice that in the React application sometimes you are writing JS, and sometimes you can also write their extension with the JSX. Basically it's for your understanding that if there will be lots of DOM element and design part are available, in that particular case you can use it a JSX, because lots of JSX code will be available here. If you don't know about JSX, then you can find the video on my YouTube channel. Basically JSX is the like means like HTML, but this will look something different. Like some of the cases you will see that if you're writing a class name, that C will be small and N will be capital. So basically you are writing HTML in the JS, that's why you are calling it as a JSX. So this is the basic point. JSX, you can find the description and their definition on the React documentation, and you can also understand very well. So it's not a big deal for you, I believe. That's why I just leaving it as it is. So let's go to the layout.jsx, and here you will try to understand the code. So here you will find that some of the basically this is a functional component. So if you don't know about class component and functional component, then just go to the documentation. You will find a clear definition about the functional component and the class component. Most of the cases you are using a class component because for example, let's go to some class. So just go there, and here you can see that here the class component is used. So basically you are extend with the component, and this comes from the React. So you can extend, and some of the functionality that like lifecycle hook, that some of the lifecycle hook are registered there. So you can use from the parent component whatever you will pass the as like argument, and here it's called the props. So basically whatever you are passing in a function, it's called argument, but in this case whatever you will pass on, if you are using that particular component, then that term is known as here the props. So whenever you will pass something, that will you can get it from the props. So you can see here that the header part, if you'll notice that here in this particular web page, you will find that there are header, and this header basically comes from this file. So the code of the header is written here. So you can see here it's not a HTML, exact HTML, it's little bit something different, which is that class name where the N is capital. So this syntax is known as JSX. So you can see that if the user is logged in, then that will be show this part. Otherwise, if a user is not logged in, then this will show this part. Because if you try to scale this project to attach the authentication, then in this case this code will be very useful. That's why just I have I have already written the logic. If you want to scale, you can also scale. Or if you want to whenever you will want to write some code, some HTML or JSX code, you need to wrap this in some certain element, opening or closing element, opening or closing tag. So here we can also write here div, but if you not want to use div, then in this case you can write here the fragment. Okay, so that's why it's written here fragment. So don't confuse here. Again, if you are using fragment, then also you need to import it from the React library. So just import and use it. So this is the ternary operator here, which is the checking that particular user is logged in or not. If logged in, then the link and the header part, their content will be different, and if not logged in, then in that case that will be different. Okay, but in this particular video you will find that only two links are available, which is the add product and product list. Here both are the same, so there are no authentication. That's why I have just put it the only two link. Otherwise this link will vary depending upon the user authentication. For example, if somebody are not logged in, then here this will be so login, forget password and sign up, this type of link. But if a user will be logged in, then the protected resource will be, their link will be available here. Okay, that's why this logic is. So I think you understand about JSX. This is the basically a Redux part. Here in this particular video I am not going to talk about the Redux. You will understand later, because if you try to understand Redux in this video, then it will be a little bit confusing for you. That's why I am leaving this. But if you want to attach a authentication, then in that particular case you require this code. That's why I kept it as it is. That's all about JSX. Layout.jsx. and you will also find that props.children. So you can see here the props.children. It means that the content of this element in the parent element will be available here there. So you can see here that this is particular component code, which is the div, and some of the code are written that will be returned here. It means after the header, whatever your logic and the page will be, the content will be listed here in the below of the header. So that's why we have passed it as a children, and that will be available on the DOM after a header. So layout is basically header, and after the header, this code, this particular code, and whatever this will be returned, basically this will return element, DOM element that will be rendered on the DOM. So if you will observe here, another component are available, which is the guest route. Basically whatever you want to give the name, you can give, but here I am giving a guest route for the understanding, because if there are 2 or more people are working in the same project and many people are working in that particular case, you need to require a proper name. That's why other people, other your colleague can understand that what is means all the about the component. So what this component are doing, this component are checking that user is authenticated or not. If user is authenticated, then that will redirect to the protected resource, and if user is not authenticated, then this component will redirect to the login page or register page or forget password and all this page. So depending upon our logic. So this checking are done through this component. Basically for this there are do component. You can also, if you want to add authentication, you can use it. So you can see here that guest route and auth route are available. So depend auth route, it means if you want to show some resource that should be show after the login, after authentication, in that case you can use this component, which is something called here auth route. But let's go to the guest route and try to understand what is the written there. So let's go to the guest route.js. Here you can find a certain few lines of code are available here. So let's see this. So basically we are using here the Redux, and this Redux part is returning something. This returning are about this giving the information about the authentication, that user is authenticated or not. So this will return a login here. This basically a variable, and this variable have information that user is authenticated or not. If user is authenticated, then their information will be stored at the central storage, and because we are using Redux, we are getting their information, pulling the information, and try to write some logic that if user is authenticated, then this will be so the authenticated resource or protected resource. Otherwise this will be redirect to the other whenever we want to redirect. So here this is checking that login or not. So here it's not login. If user is not login, then it's okay, but if user is login, then this will redirect to the home route, and through this home route means /home, whatever component are written, that will be work accordingly. So you can see here that this is the component, and whatever component and whatever props we are passing, that will be passed here also, and that particular component will run. So let's go to the app.js. So basically in this case we are passing a path and the component, and this path and component will be passed here, which is the guest in the guest route. You can see here that this will be pass here, that props means what, path and component, and that will be render, that whatever they will be returned. So this will be render, and this will be stored in the app, because this will return to the app method, and whatever it's returned to the app method, this imported in the index.js, and this app, whatever app is returning, this is rendering and replacing the index.html code where the division have id root. So this will be replaced with whatever we are returning here. Now you understand about the path, basically whatever path we will write, because this is the routing, and because we are using under the routing, that's why this will work as expected. And the component, whatever component we write. So here basically we are using some of the link. So one link is the add product and list product, and in the product edit we are passing some id here. So whatever we will pass the id, that will be, we can get that id and their information, and we can get we can fire a API. We will pass that id to the API, and we will get some data about that particular product. So here basically these three routing are useful in this project. Now let's talk about these three components. One is the add product and list product and edit product. So let's talk about. So here first and foremost I am going to talk about the list component. So let's go to the list component here, which is in the product section. You will find whenever you will import, and you will also need to specify the path. So here the path is available, which is in the component folder. You will find the product section, and here it's basically a list product are available. So let's go there and try to find out. Here you can see that we are using the state. So here basically product list, whatever product we will fetch from the API, that particular API their code is written in the Django. So whatever they will return, that will be stored in the product list, and this will be, after doing certain loop, we are rendering on the DOM. Here you can observe that component did mount, what it is doing. This is basically comes from the lifecycle hook. So basically this is a lifecycle hook method. For more information you can go to the documentation. You will find a clear definition of the lifecycle hook. I also explain about lifecycle hook. You can also find from my YouTube channel. So here basically a lifecycle hook, and what it is doing, that after rendering these things, here the state of you can find the object, which is the product list. This state will be changed. Once the state will change, then this again comes from the update lifecycle, and where the again render method will call. So we are just calling a API, and whatever value we'll get from the API, we are resetting the value of product list. So this will, here from the initially this was the empty, and after getting the data we are replacing with that particular data. So you are assigning that data here. So you can see here. And another part is the error. In certain cases, if error will return, and if you want to show this particular error to your user, then you can also show this particular user and error. You can utilize this object. Again, you will understand here that we are storing this object in the certain variable, and then we are using this variable to call a set state. You can also do these things, because this is very important, otherwise you will get some error. And here you will find that we are using basically 5 product services. What is this product services? Basically we are importing the product services. Certain part is written in the services file, because suppose to make it a little dynamic, we are writing these things like product services. We are making a service where all the API call will be there. So if you go to the service, this you will find that some of the method are available. This method depending upon your requirement, like if we have a post request, suppose get product by their ID, we can use this method. If you want to delete certain product, we can use this method, which is the delete product. So you can see here that there are certain URL. We are defining the URL here, and this is basically a variable which is the constant variable, which is the app URL. We are pulling calling the API from the localhost 8000. That's why we have written here. In the production case, you only need to replace this URL. Once you will do, then no need to change entire code whenever it's required API is calling. So we can make it a little dynamic. You can also make an environment file where some of the global variable you can define there. So you can also do these things, but here we just make a little dynamic with this variable. We just need to change this URL, means domain. Basically this is a domain. So since in my case it's run from the localhost, that's why we have provided here. Okay, and there then it's calling a ecom and products. This is the part of the API. So this is the basically a concat with the to make a proper API endpoint. And for get product, no need to pass any data. It's a get request, and this will return all the product list. And here, which is the get product by ID, you just need to pass the ID data, and according to that ID the logic will be written at the backend, and where the API is writing, and that according to your ID the product detail will be returned. And then another method is that delete product. Here in this case you are passing an ID, and this ID with the after certain filter they will delete certain record from your database, and after that this will return some other data like confirmation message or other remaining data depending upon your logic that will return. We are here also using a Axios. Axios is a library. Basically we are from the node package manager we install the Axios, and through this Axios we are calling the API. For more information you can find the clear definition from the documentation of Axios. So for the get request, delete request or post request, we are using a certain method. For example, here for the create product, here we are passing certain product and their list in the form of JSON, and this will be here this will be passed to the post as a post data. And in the API section we are getting that post data, and we are using that post data. For example, in this case we are for create product we are saving that data in the database after checking certain thing like some of the required field. After that, whatever depending upon our logic, that will store the data at the database. So for that particular purpose we are passing the post data here. And again, in case of update data, whatever data we are passing here, that will be collected at the Django. This is again a put data. It's again it's similar to the post data. We will collect this and we will write some logic against this data. So I hope that you understand about this file, what this file are doing. Basically this is the product service. So let's go to the products again. Let's go to the list product, and here we are just calling the method. It means we are just importing it, and again you also need to export it whenever it's, you can see here that it is exported. So it is necessary that whenever, if you want to use, you just export and then import. So here it is imported, and after imported from this object we are calling a get product, and we are getting the product and we are setting the state, and basically we are updating or assigning their data to the product list. What we are doing, that we are showing that each of the data on the row. So basically we are calling here the method something called map. So this state dot product list, this is basically in the form of array, and through the map we are getting each of the data from the array, and we are showing this data to the DOM. So here basically a tr in the React, this is very important, row should be unique. That's why we need to provide a key here. So since id is unique, that's why we have assigning the key as a data through the id. So through this data we are getting id and we are assigning to the key, and again data.id we are showing the data means id, and then here the image, basically this image returned by the API, and this is stored in the product list. That's why we are getting their data, means if we'll do a data.image, we'll get a image URL, but we are concatenating with this localhost, a certain localhost means domain. Okay, in alt data.title means for the searching, for the SEO purpose, we need to provide the alt information of the image. So we have provided a certain class. Basically this class comes from the Bootstrap. Basically in this project we are using a Bootstrap, so their class is available here, and then some of the data we are showing here. In case of description, we are showing the description. If a description is longer than 100, then after that this will be show a dot, otherwise the full description will be available, their price, created date, and some of the link also. And in the action column you will find some of the link like edit or delete. In case of edit, we are calling route here, which is the product edit, and passing certain data to the route. And in case of delete, we are just calling after a click event, we are calling a method which is the handle delete, and this handle delete is deleting the data from the database. So let's go to the handle delete. You can see here, so again this is using product services, and this is passing a id as a parameter of this method, and then whatever this will return, then it means if there will be no error, then this will return a successful message. That's why we are here notification, we are using a notification library from the Node Package Manager, and we are showing to the user that product deleted successfully. So this information, this message we are showing here. So let's for example, if we'll try to delete this, then you can see here product deleted successfully, it's showing here. If you want to add new data, let's go and try to add this. You can see here I am going to choose this image, and the price, whatever price you want, you can put here depending upon your validation. So here there are no validation, that's why we have provided whatever price it is. And here we'll click on this add product. This product is added successfully, you can get, this is the, and here if you go to the list, you will find that this is added successfully. If you want to delete, you can delete also. If you want to edit, you can also edit. So suppose here if you will write WorldGyan, and if you will update, then data will be updated successfully. You can see here now it's written here in the 6 for the tag, it's WorldGyan. So I hope that you understand all these things. From the next video I will talk about the product update and product add.